How are you all doing today? Good. Well, good afternoon to our students, our parents, our staff, other guests. For those that don't know me, I'm Mr. Woodley. I'm the proud principal here at Carver Magnet Elementary. Thank you. We do have some very important guests today that are going to participate in our Black History program, but we are waiting on their arrival. So as they come in, we will adjust our schedules to meet their needs. But I'm going to go on with my introduction, and we're going to extend a warm welcome once he arrives to our city's mayor, Mr. Mayor Frank Scott. Our school district superintendent, Mr. Mike Poore, will be here, and our district's deputy superintendent of elementary education, Dr. Sadie Mitchell, she will also be here. I would also like to recognize some of our partners that are here. New Birth Church, anybody from New Birth? I would also like to recognize Miles Memorial Church. Let's give them a round of applause. Those are our school partners. I would like to welcome you to Carver's Black History program. Before we get started, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you in advance, a huge thank you to Meadow Park Elementary's choir. Let's give them a round of applause. And their principal, Miss April McKinley, and their choir directors and all of their supervision staff for assisting us and bringing them, taking time out of your busy schedule to join us for this important event. I would also like to give a huge shout out to Miss Crystal Whittington, and she'll come in. She's one of our 5th grade teachers. Miss Whittington, give us your banner wave. Thank you so much for leading the committee and making this event possible. I would also like to thank all of the other committee members and staff members for investing your time and helping us to prepare for today's assembly. And it looks like our guest is just arriving. I am so excited. So when he comes in, you all clap, okay? Yeah, give him just, I know you're excited, but just hold on. We're all excited. Mayor Frank Scott Jr. How you doing, sir? Thank you so much for coming. We're going to get started. Let me introduce you, and then we'll get going, okay? All right. Go ahead, get one more scream out the way. Mayor Frank Scott Jr. Thank you. All right, my turn. Thank you. Yes, sir. Just take them on in the back. All right, my turn. So that means all eyes on the speaker. As you know, February is Black History Month. This is a month that is dedicated and set aside to focus on individuals who have made significant contributions to our society and our world. Today's assembly is just a representation of some of those contributions and to give you a glimpse into the history of African Americans. Our school is named after a very important individual, George Washington Carver. I'm so glad you know that. Awesome. My turn. And it is important for you to know who he is and what he is noted for. Students, please be reminded that this is a very important assembly, and I expect that you pay attention, participate, and learn. I also expect you to conduct yourself accordingly. Mayor Scott, we appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule to visit Carver. We hope that you too enjoy the program as long as you can stay, and that you're able to visit Carver in the near future. Mayor Scott will probably have to leave a little early, but we are certainly glad that he could join us. So without further ado, I'm going to now turn the program over to M. Marie Blackwell, a 4th grade student.
Thank you, Mr. Woodley. Good afternoon. Welcome to Carver's Elementary First Black Annual History. Welcome to Carver Elementary's first annual Black History program. Our theme is honoring the history and heritage of African Americans. My name is Emery Blackwell, and I am your mistress of ceremony. First, we will have the Carver School Pledge and Pledge of Allegiance, followed by Sophie Strotter and Mr. Lilly with the welcome. Please stand. Carver School Pledge. Today I will make good choices. I will not hurt anyone physically, verbally, or emotionally. I will do my best at all times. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Now we will have Sophie Strotter with the welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Carver Magnets Elementary Black History Program for 2019. On behalf of our principal, Mr. Woodley, our staff and student body, we are delighted that you, dear friends, are here. Black History Month is an annual observance for remembering important people and events in history of African Americans. Sit back, listen, and learn as we showcase our talents and pay tribute to the generations of African Americans who struggled with adversity to achieve. Once again, we welcome you. And now, Mr. Woodley, our principal.
Thank you so much, Sophie. I appreciate that. I've already done my introduction, so I am going to turn it over to our mayor, Frank Scott Jr.
Well, Emery, I want to say you did a phenomenal job. Thank you so much. Let's give her a round of applause. And Mr. Woodley, thank you for leading this great institution, this school here today. I see in the audience some dear friends. I see Justice of Peace, Lily McMullen, who's here today. I want to make sure we pay homage to her. My dear friend and one of my mentors, and Gertrude Stubblefield, Ms. Stubblefield, and Denise Annette, and then Pastor Richard Johnson, who's the pastor of a local church right here in this community in the East End of Little Rock. It's been a few years since I've been in Carver Elementary. My younger brother actually went to Carver Elementary, so it was just brought back a lot of memories when I came in here today, coming into East End of Little Rock. And I know today's it's called about a night of notables. As we talk about history makers and Black History Month and Black leaders And as I look at some of the names that you have here today, and Daisy Bates, which we just celebrated Daisy Bates' official holiday this past Monday. I'm assuming everyone knows exactly who Daisy Bates is, correct? Yes. All right. And then secondly, and Harriet Tubman. I know everyone knows who Harriet Tubman is. And those were two, in different times and different areas of life, they were two very phenomenal women, leaders, and black leaders at that. And so what I want to talk to you all today, as we talk about these very successful history makers in Black History Month, I want to kind of share with you the recipe for their success. But to understand the recipe for their success is to know one of the great quotes from abolitionist Frederick Douglass. And it's something I often say even to this day, that where there's no struggle, there is no progress. And so we must always understand that when we are trying to do different things in this world to make an impact and to make history and for the overall improvement of our people and our people holistically, is that we all have to understand 3 P's. Can y'all say P's? P's. And so I'm going to give you guys, because each one of you are destined to make history. Each one of you will make sure that you have a positive impact on our city, on our state, and ultimately our nation. And so as I look at some of the names that you guys are going to recite, some of the history about Daisy Jackson Bates and Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and many others throughout the city, throughout the state, throughout this nation, they all have a few things in common. Number one is they all prepared for the day. Say prepared for the day. Prepared for the day. You know what that means? No. I'm glad you said no. I'm going to tell you why. So, when we talk about preparing for the day, each day, when we're blessed to wake up, many of your mothers, your fathers, your grandparents, your uncles, or your aunts, they want you to wake up each day and make your bed, right? Y'all make y'all bed? I'm going to ask you. So what does that mean? Each day, we have to prepare for the day. And whether it's making up your bed, whether it's saying your prayers, whether it's having some quiet time with yourself just to kind of get us all in order, we have to get in order before we leave our bedrooms, before we leave our homes. So when we're coming to school, when we're coming to our own prospective job, we are going to face many challenges in life. And so we have to always make certain that we are prepared for the day. Because if we walk out of our house in disarray and disorganized or in a frenzy, it's hard to actually achieve and have positive interactions, have positivity, and ultimately to be successful if we weren't prepared and had our things in order once we exited our homes. And so we have to always understand, it starts as soon as we wake up. We have to get things in order so we can be prepared to come to Carver Magnet and be the best student that we can be the best student for Mr. Woodley, be the best student for our respective teachers, because guess what? They too had to wake up and prepare for the day, because they're preparing to make certain that each of you have a quality education. They're making certain that each of you are protected while you're here in the schoolhouse. They're doing whatever they can to make sure that you all become well-rounded individuals. So just like them, they have to prepare for the day. They want you to prepare for the day. So when we come to the schoolhouse, we're all about our business to make certain that we learn everything possible to be the best version of ourselves. So number one is what? Prepare for the what? Day. So after we understand we're going to prepare for the day, we still understand that there are 24 hours in the day. So there's a lot of time. And so there are 7 days a week. There are 52 weeks in a year. And so we're going to experience 3 things throughout life. Good days, bad days, and ugly days. That's just a fact of life. And every successful person, like a Daisy Bates, like you're going to learn more about today, like a Harriet Tubman, guess what they all experience? Good days, bad days, and ugly days. So you have to understand that Daisy Bates prepared for the day, but as she became an NAACP leader, she had to go through different lawsuits. And so she had good days when they won a lawsuit, and then bad days when they lost a lawsuit. But also, there were some ugly days where her life was in jeopardy. Same with Harriet Tubman. Guess what she had to do? as she was freeing slaves throughout this country, going from the south to the north, and from the north to the south, she had to prepare for the day. Why? Because yes, she had the North Star to lead her way the path to freedom, but she couldn't lead anybody out of slavery if she was not prepared for the day. She had to make certain that she had all of her supplies. She had to make certain that she had the right maps so she could actually navigate everyone from the south to the north each and every day. But she too had to push through life circumstances. Say, push through life circumstances. Push through life circumstances. Circumstances merely means good, bad, and ugly. All right? And so Harriet Tubman as well as Daisy Bates, when they experienced these challenges, because there'll be certain points in time where Harriet will be on one stop on the Underground Railroad, and then she would get to this stop. And so maybe when she had thought she had met an abolitionist that was going to help her, that they may have turned her back from her, she had to reroute, because that was considered to be a good day and a bad day. But even though she experienced the good times, the bad times, and the ugly times, she had to push through those life circumstances to persevere. Persevere means to get over obstacles. And so anytime that you are met with an obstacle, it's another opportunity for a remarkable outcome. So you're going to experience, I'm not going to lie to you today, you're going to have some good days, some bad days, and some ugly days. But if we all continue to prepare for the day, we will push through those good times, those bad times, and those ugly times. And ultimately, once we get over, everything will be all right. Okay, so can we say push through life circumstances? Push through life circumstances. And finally, after we understand that we're all going to have to prepare for the day and we're going to push through life circumstances, we have to do something that both Daisy Bates and Harriet Tubman did. And that's pay it forward. Say pay it forward. Paying it forward means to give back. When you are blessed to have opportunity, you are blessed with resources, you not only think of yourself, you think of others. So if you have an extra anything, you always want to make certain that you can give it on to others and pay it forward, just to be a nice person, to be a giving person, because we need more people thinking about others so we can truly be the greater community. And guess who did those things? Daisy Bates and Harriet Tubman. Because a great example of how Harriet Tubman paid it forward was once she took people from the south to the north, she didn't have to come back. But she knew the correct routes, and she knew she had the capability and the ability to free more slaves. And so she said, I'm going to pay it forward. I'm going to not make one trip. I'm going to make 20,000 trips to make certain that everyone can experience freedom. Daisy Bates paid it forward by making certain not only did she work for the NAACP, but she also did what she could do to be a chief lieutenant for the Little Rock Nine. She didn't have to do all the extra work, but she was thinking about other people. And so we in life have to always think about other people and how we can help others. So if you all want to be like a Daisy Bates, and I hope you do, if you all want to be like a noble leader like a Harriet Tubman, and I hope you do, or like a Dr. King, or like a Frederick Douglass, or like an Ernest Green, or like an Elizabeth Eckford, or like a George Washington Carver, we have to always prepare for the day, push through those life circumstances, and pay it forward. So I just want to say thank you all for the opportunity. You guys are at a very historic elementary. You guys are very precious and are precious assets to our city. You are the future of Little Rock. And so we want you all to always be successful. And so if you all will promise me that you will prepare for the day, say, I'm going to promise. To prepare for the day. To push through life circumstances. And pay it forward. I am successful. I will continue to be successful. I'm going to always respect my parents and you can always be a great citizen to the city that you love and love. I appreciate you all.
Okay, good deal, because I want to present something to you. Okay. All right, looks like I'm going to turn it over to Anne Marie. You ready? All right. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you. Yeah.
Next on our program is the Meadow Park Elementary Choir. Let's give them a Carver welcome.
This is the Meadow Park Gospel Choir. This is supposed to be a one-time thing, and we just couldn't let it die out. So we've been traveling all over. They sing a lot. They're a little nervous today, but we're going to give you two very quick selections. And again, I say thank you very much for the invite.
Thank you, Meta Park. Now we will have drumming. Now we will have poetry by Mackenzie Avant and Yari Tesseros, each followed by the Carver Elementary Drumming Ensemble, presented by our music teacher, Miss Terry Hughes.
Come on up. Right before you get started, I'm so excited. Right before you get started, we're going to take this opportunity. Again, we have to make a few changes. We're going to present our mayor with the token of our appreciation. He does have to run to another event, and I do understand that Meadow Park also has to leave so that they can close out their day at their school. So first of all, I want to say thank you, Ms. McKinley and the Meadow Park Choir. Let's give them another round of applause. And I also want to thank, if I have any parents of any Meadow Park students, are you here? Woo, let's give them a shout out. Thank you all so much for allowing your children to attend. We appreciate that. Mr. Mayor, we would like to take this opportunity to present you with this plaque, and it reads, Carver Magnet Elementary acknowledges Mayor Frank Scott. The theme, honoring the history and heritage of African Americans on this day, February 20th, 2019, Clifton Woodley Principal. So thank you so much. We hope that you can certainly come back, and we do know that he has to run, so we're going to allow him that opportunity. Any last parting words?
Just want to say thank you again to everyone. I'm just so proud of Carver and also Meadow Park. You guys really just showed out. Took me back to church, so I am grateful for it. So just thank everyone.
Poem called Truth by Gwendolyn Brooks. And if sun comes, how shall we greet him? Shall we not dread him? Shall we not fear him after so lengthy a session with shade? Though we have wept for him, though we have prayed all through the night years, what if we wake up one shimmering morning to hear the fierce hammering of his firm knuckles hard on your door? Shall we not shudder? Shall we not flee into the shelter, the dear thick shelter of a familiar promptitious haze? Sweet it is to sleep in the coolness of snug unawareness. The dark hangs heavily over the eyes.
Thank you, Mackenzie. And now Yari. First, we have our Carver Drumming Ensemble. Carver Drumming Ensemble. And now Yari.
Hi, I'm Yari Chia, and I'll be reading you a poem called Caged Birds by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream on the current ends. He dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky, but the bird that stalks down his narrow cage and can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful thrill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on a distant hill. For the caged bird sings of freedom. The bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through his side trees, and the fat winds waiting to dawn bright line. But the caged bird stands on the graveyard of dreams. His shadow shouts and nightmares scream. His wings are clipped, his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful thrill of things unknown but long for still, and his tune is heard in a distant hill. For the caged bird sings of freedom.
Thank you, Yari. And now we have another performance by our Carver drummers. Thank you, Carver drummers and Miss Terry Hughes. Now we have Camille Innit as Daisy Banks with Notables, followed by Brooklyn Malvin as Harriet Tubman with fellow students Landon Johnson and Michaela Anderson.
My name is Daisy Bates. I was born on November 11th, 1913 and 1914. I don't know my actual birth year. I was also born in Huttig, Arkansas. My spouse was Elsie Bates. My siblings were Emmett Gaston, Lucas Gaston, Lowell Gaston, and Leo Gaston. My birth parents remain a mystery. Before the age of 7, I was taken in as a foster child to Susie and Arlie Smith in Huttig, Arkansas, just 3 miles from the Louisiana border. I am an American civil rights activist, publisher, journalist, and lecturer. I also played a leading role in the Little Rock interrogation crisis of 1957. I was also a mentor to Little Rock 9, the African American students who courageously integrated Central High in 1957. Over 50 years ago, a rock shattered the picture window of a brick house in Little Rock, Arkansas, and note was tied next to it that read, "Stone this time, dynamite next." The house belonged to my husband and I, but nevertheless, we both led efforts to end segregation in Arkansas on buses, in libraries, and in public schools. At this time, some people did things like this quite often, but I was not scared. Annie Abrams, a friend of mine who was active during the crisis, said Mrs. Bates was the person for the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Now we will have Brooklyn Malvin, Landon Johnson, and Michaela Anderson.
You know, this is a very dangerous mission for me, but it's worth all the risk and satisfaction I receive from helping people of color attain freedom. Did you see that, Lord? Another successful mission thanks to you. Please keep them safe and help them to freedom. These missions are my destiny, to assist people of color to freedom. It is what God placed me on this earth to do. You could say I'm the first woman to be considered a conductor, although the first one not to make it to 2017. Bianca Wilson is her name. As I think back to the year 1849, I remember escaping Maryland to gain freedom in Philadelphia. But soon after, I had to go back so that I could feed my family. Due to training as a nurse and a spy, I was the first woman to lead an armed expedition in war. Also, I guided the raid of Combahee Ferry and liberated more than 700 slaves. This was such a dangerous and fulfilling time for me. It gave me incredible confidence to keep doing what I was doing. Of course, I couldn't have done any of this without the help of Sam Green, Abe Brinkley, Abraham Gibbs, and a lot more. Also, a special thank you to Quaker Thomas Garrett, who secured the transportation of to William Steele's offices and homes and other underground operators in the Philadelphia area. I wish I could have more time to share with you, but do you hear that? I have to go. Blessing and peace to you all.
Thank you, Brooklyn, Landon, and Michaela. Okay. And now, would you please stand and join us in singing Lift Every Voice and Sing, led by Carver Elementary, 4th grade. Thank you for attending our first annual Black History program. Thank you, Mayor Scott, Mr. Poor, and other special guests for attending. Have a great day.
You all just have a seat one more time. We're getting ready to close out in the next 2 minutes. Miss Whittington, I appreciate you so very much for putting this up. Let's give her a round of applause. Come on up. Let's give our students a round of applause. You all did an amazing job. Thank you. Wow. That's okay. I just want to say thank you so much again. It takes a lot of hard work, students. It takes a lot of hard work and planning, just like when you want to go to the zoo or you want to go to a party and you want to do things. It takes a lot to plan. You got to find out what you're going to wear. You have to take a bath. You have to get your clothes ready. You have to do all of those things to plan and get ready. Well, it's like that when we're planning an event like this. And it also takes a lot of courage to get up here on stage and speak. Mr. Woodley, I'm nervous sometimes and I'm grown, but it takes a lot of courage. So when students and other staff members and other individuals are on stage, you need to make sure that you support them and clap and do the things that you know to do. Because like I said, it is very hard and very difficult for some people to be on stage. So without further ado, I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Whittington again. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Definitely this could not have happened without all of you. And I just wanna extend a big thanks, big hugs to the Carver staff. This is my first year here at Carver and you guys just came out. People were coming and asking, how can I help? It was just positive vibes all the way through. I just want to thank you so much. And you know what? Next year we're going to go higher. Okay? Thank you so much, Mr. Woodley, for the opportunity. Our committee members, can you please stand? Go ahead. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the drumming ensemble. Ms. Hughes, just thank you so very much.
And we want to present you, Ms. Whittington, with this card and a token of appreciation for helping us and making this happen. So thanks again. All right. I appreciate all of my staff members, my parents here, my guests and visitors. Thank you for your time. Ms. Hughes, I appreciate you. Thank you to security. I appreciate you for this morning as well as this afternoon. Thank you.